In this episode, we're going to build this awesome LEGO minifigure shelf. It's perfect for displaying your favorite LEGO minifigures. All right, let's get started. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's episode. I'm super excited about this one because it involves Legos. And for those of you who don't know, I love Legos almost as much as I love woodworking. Well, today we're going to be building a LEGO minifigure shelf. And for this project, all you're going to need is a simple 2x2 piece of pine, just like this one. Now this is a select piece of pine. You can pick this up at your local hardware store. You want to make sure you get a select pine because it won't have any knots or blemishes in it. Well, we're going to take this over to my table, lay everything out, and explain what we're going to do. Let's go. Okay, so we're over here near my table and our lumber's sitting right here. What we have to do is we have to cut our shelf to the right length. Well, what is the right length? Very good question. It all depends on how many minifigures you want your shelf to hold. I decided I want my shelf to hold 16 minifigures. Now, in order to secure them to the shelf, I'm using a Lego plate. Now, I have several of these in my house, and I want my Legos to be spaced every 4 dots, or my Lego minifigures, that is. And so I'm gonna need 8 of these. So we're gonna lay these out on my piece of wood and then mark the length and then cut it on my saw. So we've cut the length of our shelf. Here it is. It's looking pretty good. Our next step is to create a little groove or a channel in our shelf to hold that Lego plate. To do that, you're gonna need a table saw and a dado blade. Let me show you how we're gonna set that up. All right, so we're over here near my table saw and we're gonna set everything up to cut that channel. To do that, you wanna make sure you have the right width of the dado blade set and the right depth. What you wanna do is you wanna match the depth of this Lego plate and the width. To do that, I would recommend running a test piece through like this, a scrap piece of wood that you have, and run that through your dado blade before you run the production piece, just to make sure that you have everything dialed in. And that's what I'm gonna do. All right, let's check the fit and see if it's good. Let me focus here. All right, we're gonna slide this in. Look at that, perfect fit. That's exactly what you wanna see. Now that we know everything's dialed in, it's now time to run the shelf through. We're gonna push it all the way through, and then we're gonna move on to the next step. All right, let's take a look. Look at that. That looks good. Okay, so the next step is to make the keyholes on the back of the shelf so it can sit flush with the wall. Let's go do that right now. All right, so we're gonna make the keyhole. In order to make one, you need 3 things. The first thing is a plunge router. The second thing is a keyhole bit. And the third thing is a keyhole jig. Now, don't be intimidated by my jig that I have set up here. I made this. It's because I make a lot of these and I didn't want to have to set up a lot of different times. The keyhole jig I'll put in the description is just basically a plexiglass plate. You can use some clamps and some double-sided sticky tape and make your keyhole that way. You don't have to go to the extreme setup that I have right here. All right, well, let me show you how we're gonna make these keyholes. All right, so here we go. We have my router and we have our keyhole jig. This is the little plexiglass piece that I was talking about. You don't need the rest of this to do this. I just happen to have this set up. So we're gonna slide our piece of wood in right through here and then push this down to the right depth and then slide it up just a little bit, and we're gonna repeat that 2 times. All right, let's do that. All right, so that's it. That is a keyhole. So we have 2 on either end. So you put your screw in the wall, slide this in, and you have a Lego shelf. All right, so we've made our keyholes. They turned out great. The next step is to sand everything, take it outside and spray paint it before we attach those Lego plates. All right, so we finished painting the Lego shelf, and here it is, and it looks amazing. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm gonna even be more happy when my little minifigures are standing on it. To get them to stand, we had to take this over to my table and put the little Lego plates in the channel. Let's do that. Now, I'm just test fitting this to see what it looks like, but you can keep them in dry, or you can put some super glue down and run a bead of super glue all the way down and then install it. And then these plates will be permanent. But they're installing perfectly. There you go. That's what it looks like. Let's go hang this on the wall and put some minifigures on it. All right, here it is, the Lego minifigure shelf with some minifigures on it. It turned out awesome, and I had a lot of fun making it. And if you liked it, and you like this video, smash that thumbs up button for me. I'd really appreciate it. Well, we're gonna be coming out with a new episode tomorrow. You know that already. And you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and ding that bell to get notified so you don't miss it. All right, well, here's a sneak peek at what we're gonna be making.